Yeah, I thought he was going to unmask them. Like, I would have got away with it too. It wasn't for you meddling Johnny Depp's.
Hi, I'm Allan.
And I'm Russell.
Hey, and this is Popculture Pontification.
Yeah, the show what do we do again?
It's been so long.
Yeah.
It's been an age.
We talk about something.
We talk about things.
Yeah.
And...
Brexit. Do we talk about Brexit?
I mean, we can if we want to.
No, we don't, because it's not pop culture related.
Well, it's something that affects a lot of people.
It does.
So
British people.
That would make it popular.
Non-British people.
And it's about British culture. So that
Yeah.
would make it culture. And we could talk about it for a while. So that would be pontification. So...
Damn you and your technicalities.
I honestly can't believe that passed.
Yeah.
It seems like such a bad idea.
There's been, like, clips of people saying, like, I only voted Leave as, like, a troll vote. What have I done?
Because you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Then. Yeah. What are you doing, you goose?
People don't do drugs and don't do troll votes.
Wasn't there, like, a huge voter turnout for that?
Yeah, it was higher than the general election.
For Britain?
Yeah, the most recent election to elect the government who makes all of the decisions.
Oh, goodness.
Except for this one.
Except for this one, no.
Which they gave up to the
well,
people.
every now and then, like, I don't know how many times it's happened. Every now and then, Australia will vote on, like, becoming independent.
Yeah, we had a Republican referendum a while ago.
That's the word I'm looking for, yeah.
Yeah. Which did not pass.
It never has. There's been, like, 2 or 3 of them, I think.
I felt like at the time we would have to wait for the Queen to die, and then like people would go, alright, it's time to make a change.
That woman will never die.
Well, yeah, there is that. She seems to be invincible. I love the Queen. That's fine by me. She can hang around. But, you know, if Prince Charles was the king, I feel like people would go, yeah, I don't like him very much.
But he's not going to be the king.
No, he's passed it on to his son and charming daughter-in-law and their cute little baby.
You feel like that's just we're stuck
like,
the next
yeah, that's
going
gonna
now, yeah.
Carry on the monarchy.
Do you ever wonder, like, what sort of dark, deep down, satanistic magic is used to keep the Queen alive?
No.
'Cause honestly, that woman's been around for fucking donkey's age.
Yeah, but I imagine, you know, every marvel of modern medicine is bent towards keeping her alive.
Do you think, like...
She's one of the richest people around.
Do you think there's a doctor out there?
Like Rupert Murdoch. How is he still alive?
You can say the same about any of the, like, aging rockers who've done nothing but mainline cocaine
Yeah.
for 40 years and are still kicking. Do you think, like, there's a doctor out there whose specific job is it to, like, look at the Queen's poop and go, she's alright?
Yeah, probably.
I was like, how would you, like, what did you do at work today, Dad? Oh, I looked at the Queen's shit again.
No, you, like, what did you do at work today? I made fat bank working for the Queen. And then you make it rain on your, like, annoying son. Asking too many questions.
You make it rain on him. He's like, oh, thanks for the money, Dad.
Yeah.
I want every single
Yeah.
dollar. You have not earned that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we're here not to talk about the poor decision of the British populace.
Or the Queen's poop.
Or the Queen's poop. We're always here to talk about the Queen's poop. We're here to talk about, like, pop culture and
Yes.
stuff. Although we have been getting a little disillusioned with it. We had a bit of a chat before the podcast. And our come hither, come yon...
yes, our broad subject range.
Our broad spectrum, yeah.
Yes.
Seems to be... I don't know. I mean, I think it's fun to talk about whatever.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not really, I don't think, that interesting for other people. And despite doing this ostensibly just for us to have fun and do stuff about, I suppose we do in some ways have to consider the people who listen to this.
Yeah, I suppose so. The listeners, if you will.
Listeners, if you will, yes. Although we've never given them a name.
And this self-reflection has been prompted by the impressive start of your new project.
Yes, I've never mentioned it on Popculture Pontification.
Well, it's only started this week.
It's true. But I have mentioned Popculture Pontification on my new project. Which is called Kami's Lookout. Which is a podcast I'm starting with previous guests of this podcast, Tim and Ran, for those faithful listeners who will know who I'm talking about there, where we finally got sick of Russell telling us that we couldn't talk about Dragon Ball Z on Pop Culture Pontification,
no more Dragon Ball Z.
It is decidedly pop culture related, and we decided to go off and start our own casino with blackjack and hookers.
And the Dragon Ball Z podcast.
And the Dragon Ball Z podcast, yes.
And so on this show, you are starting from the beginning of Dragon Ball Z, I believe, and rewatching.
Yes, and we are watching every episode in order.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the exact number of episodes off the top of my head.
I thought you were going to say I don't have the exact order. I'm pretty sure it's 1, 2, 3.
Yes, but I don't have the exact number of episodes off the top of my head.
Right.
It's well into the 200s.
Yes.
Of the episodes, but we are.
And yet
watching...
Firefly only had 13 beautiful episodes.
13 perfect episodes that can never be ruined by a crappy second season.
Yeah, or a stupid arc where a guy charges off a soul bomb for 25 episodes.
Look, Russell, you're not on the other podcast. You don't get to make comments.
That's true.
No, but we watch. We are watching approximately 3 episodes per podcast, which is about a 40-minute long podcast.
Yeah,
with dicking around in between.
Yes.
But if there's not much going on, then we'll do more. Or if there's one episode that's fucking action-packed and there's a lot going on, we'll probably do less.
I like the climax of an arc and so
correct. On. Or if there's just a thing that prompts a lot of discussion, we'll see what happens. We're playing it pretty fast and loose. But yeah, so that's the thing. We've got 1 episode out so far, and it's received a degree of interest.
A rapturous reception.
Yes, people seem to. It's crazy. Who would have thought that
into the double figures?
Into the double figures, yes. Who would have thought that focusing on a single topic and discussing it at length in a humorous manner? Who would have thought that people would like that?
Yeah, I thought they would have enjoyed the shotgun approach of just every topic.
Maybe
every topic you can find.
Maybe this week we'll talk about something you're interested in. Who knows?
If you're that guy who signed up for the comic book chat in episode 3, sorry to have disappointed you so often since then.
I do keep meaning to talk. I've got a lot of comic books. I'm looking at a bookcase full of them right now. I do keep meaning to talk about comic books, but I just never seem to get around to it. Because I suppose it's because I don't really pay attention to the sort of mainstream. I don't really read a lot these days of Marvel or DC. I'm more reading sort of independent comics and all that sort of stuff. God, that makes me sound like a hipster. I read
a nerdy hipster.
A hipster. Yes. And nerdster. I read Invincible, which is a Image comic, and
I Kill Giants.
I Kill Giants, yes, is a very good comic book, actually.
Planet Hulk,
that's Marvel stuff. The Strange Tale of Luther Strode is one that I'm a big fan of. Alex and Ada is another one. I'm just reading my
You're just
shelf.
listing
I'm
things
just
now.
listing the things on my shelf at this point. A Strong Female Protagonist is quite a good comic book as well, for those interested. And now we've sort of delved into comic book chats.
Okay. Let's tick that box.
Box ticked.
Now, I want to talk about something that you won't have seen.
Okay, I don't know what that is.
Game of Thrones, Season 6, Episode 9.
Alright, well, I don't care if you spoil this, because obviously
I won't go into plot spoilers.
Okay.
I'm going to spoil elements of the episode, but they won't be plot elements. I won't use characters' names.
I heard you get very excited about this on Facebook.
Yeah, it was amazing.
It was the penultimate episode of the season, I believe. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yes, which is typically the biggest budget episode for a Game of Thrones season. It usually has
the finale episode would be the biggest budget game.
Well, usually the second last episode has a huge battle of some sort, and then the last episode is dealing with all the fallout from that battle.
Oh, just wrapping shit up?
Yeah.
Okay.
And in this episode, it had probably the best battle ever staged on TV, except for maybe in Band of Brothers.
What about are you talking about TV shows in particular?
Yeah.
So I can't just say well, what about Lord of the Rings? That's been on TV.
No.
That doesn't count.
That's a stupid technical answer.
Well, what? Give me some numbers here. How many people are on screen? Or how many
actual people is hard to say.
Quotation marks, yeah. How many
I believe the numbers were 6,000 on one side and 3,000 on the other.
It seems like the outcome of this fight seems already decided.
Ah, well, you didn't count on the
dragons,
the fighting skill and grit of the underdogs.
I feel like that's
doesn't usually work out very well for people in Game of Thrones.
It doesn't usually work out very well for people in reality either.
No, but it often does in fantasy fiction.
Yes, because There's a few like documented cases of like a large force invading a country that has a very small army, and then you look at the death toll figures, and it's like 10% of the tiny army is dead, and 75% of the large army is dead.
Yeah, if you're looking at like ancient historians, I think their figures are very rubbery. When they say like
this was
Xerxes
like a
brought
relatively modern war is the one I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't give you any more details than that.
Well, I immediately think of like what's his name? Is it Herodotus? I can't remember. One of those old Greek guys. He wrote about the Persian wars of what's his name? Alexander.
Mm-hmm.
Where he's fighting against Darius and whoever else, and they're bringing like forces of 400,000 men against his 20,000.
Mm-hmm.
And an ancient Persian empire is not going to be able to feed an army of 400,000 men. It's blatantly impossible.
Well, those men came from somewhere where they were being fed.
Yes. But we're getting into like military strategy here. We're getting way off topic. I'm going to bring us back to this Game of Thrones episode.
Right.
So, I watched a making of thing afterwards because it was so well made, so well shot, so well put together. And there's surprisingly, a lot of it was not done with CG.
And they just filmed the same 5 dudes over and over and over and over.
No, they had like hundreds of dudes. And they split them into 2 camps when they were training with like sword fighting and physical training. And they split them up and they made them like compete against each other so that when they went to film the battle, the like 2 sides would have like a competitive spirit.
That's pretty clever.
And they had 80 horses as part of the battle. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously in the shot there was like hundreds of horses, but it was CG filled in there, the rest of them. And when they were shooting one side, all 80 horses would be on that side, and then when they shot the other side, all 80 horses would be on that side. And when they shot the battle, they would have 40 horses on each side coming together.
I mean, you gotta admire like the clever way they get around doing these things.
Yeah, it was so impressive.
Because I believe in like one of the final battles in the Lord of the Rings movies, they didn't bother single-handedly animating every single one of the like 1,000 soldiers or whatever of either side. What they did was they created like an AI routine.
That would like subtly change the...
No. Like each individual in the battlefield had like a set of things it could do.
Mm-hmm.
You could either like attack or defend or like charge or like change targets or whatever. And then they just set all these parameters for everything. And then just generated like a bunch of them and just send them charging at each other. And then they like record like the battle. And then they'd go through and like look at the recording and there'd be like some weird ones where a guy would just be like spinning around on the spot or whatever, or like another guy would just like turn and run away and stuff like that. And then they'd just go into the simulation and just delete those ones until they had like a proper...
until all the weird stuff was taken out.
All the weird stuff was gone.
Yeah.
But that doesn't sound like that's what they did here.
Well, quite possibly they did, because there are like aerial shots where there's, you can see thousands of soldiers, and obviously they didn't have that many men. But for a lot of the close-up stuff, it's all legit.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one shot where one of the main characters is standing facing a cavalry charge by himself. And the shot is from behind him, and you can see the horses coming at him. There's like 80 horses with soldiers on top with swords and spears charging at him. And you kind of assume it's a CG shot because they cut away just before the horses would have trampled him.
Mm-hmm.
And you think, well, obviously this
either he wasn't there,
famous actor is not going to... but no, in the making of it, they actually did face down this cavalry charge by himself.
Did they just like split at the last minute and not like...
Yeah. They like... Because they're professional stunt riders.
Stunt riders, yeah.
They were able to just like part around him.
Okay.
But it was an impressive shot.
Quite a ballsy move.
Yeah. And there's this other bit where it felt very strongly influenced by video games. Because like God of War or any of those sort of
right, that guy
games.
did the Hadoken.
That's Street Fighter.
I know, but I don't know
You're
God of War.
bad at video games. Any of those like...
Did one guy kill his family by accident?
No.
Okay.
3D action games where the camera sort of hovers like just behind the heroes, above the hero's head.
Or like behind and to the right or something.
Yeah. And you've got guys coming in and you're mashing the X button, you're swiping your sword, and your character's darting around between the guys. It felt so much like that because the camera was just hovering like above and behind his head, and just following him around. And guys would come swooping in from the left and the right, and it was a very intense scene.
Did they have like a rig on his back or something that like attached to a camera so it stayed in a fixed position or something?
No, I assume it was just a guy on a crane just following him.
Good job.
Yeah.
The budget for these Game of Thrones episodes is ridiculous.
This was comparable to movies, the production quality of this episode.
Oh, I was going to say, like, the cost of a movie. And I was
sure...
movies are very expensive, Russell.
It must have been millions or tens of millions of dollars to produce this episode of TV.
That's a big claim.
I don't have the figures, but I assume so because of what came out of it. It's amazing.
Fair enough. Because one thing that I always find difficult for them to do, even on a pretty decent budget, is that when you've got like a big aerial shot of like all these obviously CG fighters clashing into each other, it's hard to make it look like real people.
Yeah.
Instead of just like weird little dolls like flopping into each other and stuff like that. So I think like fixing that, making it look like there's proper like fighting going on, is remarkably difficult.
Yeah. Yeah, they managed it pretty well in this. They didn't use a lot of those wide shots. Mm-hmm. They sort of just established there's a big battle going on. Now we're going to cut in and follow these characters. But you could still see the battle going on in the background. So yeah, it was good. It never took you out of it.
Did everybody have like masks on?
How do you mean?
Like, did all the enemy fighters have like helmets and stuff on?
No. Most of them were like bareheaded or open-faced helmets.
Just like recognize the same.
Oh, they're just a bunch
guys over and over again.
Beardy men.
All right.
It's hard to identify them.
Fair enough. Because it was the same guys over and over again. I was like, surely they put them in like helmets or something.
Yeah, no, they would have been like dozens or hundreds of actors involved. Mm-hmm. I was very impressed. That's why I brought it up.
So what I'm taking away from this is that you were just erect the entire time.
Oh, absolutely.
This episode, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe like everything in that show has been spoiled for me at this point. You know, but maybe I should get around to watching it.
I really think you should. It is a good television program.
It is, but it's just like, at this point is, like, a month of my life would have to go aside to watching this.
It's like 60 hours worth of
That's
TV.
a lot of hours.
I'm actually thinking of rewatching it.
Russell, are you suggesting that we rewatch this together?
Well, I'll rewatch it. You can watch it for the first time. Except for the first season.
I've seen
so we can rewatch the first season.
Right. I'm not talking about, obviously, us just sitting down on the same couch and watching it. That'd be largely difficult due to, you know...
well, with you having weekdays off and me having weekends off?
Yes.
Yes.
We just have to watch it separately, but at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, it could work.
We'll see how we go. What else have you been up to, Russell? I recorded the previous podcast 3 days ago, so not a lot's happened since then.
Apart from watching Game of Thrones, I did manage to watch a few movies.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if there are any of the ones that I have watched.
Well, mine were mostly on Netflix and home media, so probably not.
I'm more of a big budget kind of guy.
You are, yeah. You're splashing the cash everywhere.
That's it.
So, a couple I'll just mention quickly, because I don't have much to say about them. One was Wake in Fright.
Never heard of it.
I hadn't either.
It sounds like a horror movie.
Not really.
Okay.
It was uneasy watching it. It's an Australian movie from the 70s, and it was lost for years because people couldn't find any original prints of it.
This sounds like Blair Witch sort of stuff. It was made in the 70s. Not even find any copies of it until now.
No, it's not really a horror movie. It's about a school teacher who's in a country town. It's like a one-horse town.
Is this like found footage sort of stuff?
No. It's a regular movie. And he is planning to go to Sydney to see his girlfriend. Mm-hmm. So he gets a lift to the nearest town, which is, I think it's called Bundayabba. It's a made-up country town. It's like, not Bunbury size, but the next step down from Bunbury.
You can make up any sort of weird name.
It's probably an Australian town.
Yeah, okay, it's probably an Australian town.
Yeah.
You get a lot of weird name towns.
Yeah.
Woolloomooloo, that's the real one.
Yeah. Wollongong. Wagga Wagga.
Broken Hill.
Yeah. Anyway, he gets to this town and he's planning to get a plane in the morning. Mm-hmm. But he ends up going for a drink at a local pub. And he's like a posh middle class guy with an English accent. And these guys are all like mega bogans. Yeah. Anyway, he ends up playing 2-Up.
Okay.
And he's way ahead. And he's finally raised enough money to like buy out his contract with the education department and leave this like shithole town that he's living in.
I wasn't even aware that was a thing in reality, but okay.
Well, it probably was back in the 70s. Anyway, he goes for one last big gamble on 2-Up, and of course
loses.
He loses all of his money. And he just descends into this like nightmarish existence in this town. These like...
What, he like doesn't have any money, so he can't leave?
No, he can't afford to leave the town.
This guy is an idiot.
Yeah. And he basically becomes an alcoholic, and then he goes on a hunting trip. And don't watch this movie if you're an animal lover, because there's a horrific scene of like kangaroos being slaughtered.
Like real kangaroos?
Yeah, it was very controversial when it came out because it was filmed on an actual kangaroo hunt.
Okay. I mean, that shit happens in real life. They're a pest.
Yeah. But, like, the filmmakers were, like, physically sick after they came back from this because the guys are just, like, seriously mistreating these animals.
What, like, torturing them instead of just...
death
and that sort of stuff?
Yeah. And getting drunk and fucking about. And...
Not fucking about. Though.
No, not fucking the kangaroos. Messing around.
Alright, I mean, do you think this was, like, one of the 2 films that were made in Australia that year? And I can't imagine that Australia had a huge sort of film budget.
Actually, we did have a bit of a film renaissance because it was around the time that Mad Max came out. And there was quite a few Australian movies.
Surely Mad Max wasn't out in the 70s, surely.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Have you seen how young Mel Gibson is in that movie?
Yeah, but at the same time...
And how old he is now? He's really old.
Alright.
Anyway, this movie was really good, but it was not an easy or a pleasant watch.
Okay, so you really struggled through it.
No, I was like glued to my screen, but afterwards I felt kind of dirty and uncomfortable.
You like had to go watch like a kid's show to just like cleanse your palate or something.
After that, I had to watch Chef.
Is this the one with that guy from that movie and Scarlett Johansson?
Yeah, Jon Favreau.
Yeah, I've seen this.
Yeah, it was really good.
It is a good movie.
It was a real feel-good movie.
We can converse about this, Russell, because I've seen this movie.
Excellent.
I saw it at the
That's what our podcast has been missing.
It is, yes. Common ground.
So Jon Favreau, who is the director of Iron Man and executive producer on a lot of Marvel movies.
He gets about.
So he's like connected up the wazoo. True. But he's quite a pudgy and not overly attractive man. Anyway.
He has his own rustic charm.
He wrote and directed a movie where his ex-wife is Sofia Vergara and his side piece... while they're on a break is Scarlett Johansson.
I believe they're divorced at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not a side piece. It's just a girl he's fucking.
Well, yeah. But apart from that rather incongruous detail, it was a very warm-hearted and entertaining movie.
You know what they say, Russell, though? A girl loves a man who can cook.
That's true. And this guy can cook.
He can fucking cook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's a chef who wants to...
Change the menu.
Yeah, he wants to change the menu at his very popular restaurant.
Is like the guy who owns the place.
Yeah, who wants to play it safe and conservative. And this restaurant critic comes in and goes, "This is the most boring menu I've ever eaten. You're a crappy chef."
Same thing as always.
Yeah, you're the worst chef ever.
Yeah.
And he has a meltdown in response to this.
He goes fucking nuclear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he loses his job, and he. At the suggestion of his ex-wife, who is still way too interested in his life, given that they're divorced.
Because they've got a son together, so surely she's still in there in some regard.
Yeah, but she's like mega rich.
Alright, Russell, I feel like you've got a very skewed viewpoint of women.
I just really feel like Sofia Vergara would have moved on.
Well, she has moved on. Isn't she with,
No,
Tony Stark?
She was with Tony Stark at one point.
Whose real name, I forget.
Robert Downey Jr.
Thank you, Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah. Well, Robert Downey Jr. is a character played by Tony Stark.
Yes.
Yeah. You were very confused.
You confused me for a second there. I was like, shit, have I got this all backwards?
Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr., what?
But no, because they either were or are together. His ex-wife and this guy who throws him some cash.
Yes, and sets him up with a food van.
Yes, a shitty old piece of shit van.
To rediscover his love of cooking good food and making people happy.
And that Mexican guy who's in every movie as the Mexican guy.
Yeah. I wrote down his name.
I can never remember
Damn
his name.
I forgot.
What would he be most famous for, I wonder? What has he been in? He's been in like everything, but he's never like he's in Sisters, that movie with Tina Fey and that other woman. You not ringing a bell?
No.
All right, I can't remember other things. He was in the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah, he was Luigi, wasn't he? Okay, Luigi that's his most famous role.
That's his most famous role.
Yeah. Anyway, this food van, as well as reuniting him with his friend Luigi from Super Mario Bros.
Well, they worked together, and then he quit his job in like solidarity.
Yeah, but it lets him grow closer to his son.
Yes,
who he's been neglecting because of his work.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a great time driving across
country.
Yeah, listening to cool jazz music and
going to like Texas and getting some like Texas barbecue and then
man, that steak looked amazing.
They basically just go along and then whatever's good in the place they're in.
Yeah.
They start serving that out of the van.
Yeah. And everybody loves their van because the food's delicious.
Yes.
And he's famous.
Yes. He went viral.
He went viral because he had a public meltdown.
He makes like a cheese sandwich for his kid, or he makes like a grilled cheese sandwich for like Scarlett Johansson, or his kid, I can't remember who.
Yeah. And
he's like just making this grilled cheese. I'm like, that's the best fucking look at this grilled cheese sandwich I've ever seen. I want to eat that sandwich.
Yeah. All the food in this movie looks amazing.
Amazing, and it looks like it would kill you immediately by eating it.
Well, it is American.
It's just something we don't really have here, though. We don't have food trucks in the same way that America does. It's not like something you can just like walk down the street and there's a fucking food truck on the side of the road. Yeah, that doesn't happen here.
Although there was surprisingly few food trucks in America. Like, I was under the impression it would be food trucks everywhere.
I believe they're in the major cities.
In New York, there was quite a few, but mostly they just sold pretzels.
I just like the idea of food trucks.
Yeah, me too.
It's like food that comes to you. I'm down with that.
Are you saying that we should start a food truck?
We would be one of the few.
We would. We could go onto the market.
There are food trucks around here, but they usually only show up to like
concerts and things.
Concerts and events. Yeah. But that's a good movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah. It's just a nice
lighthearted
touch after being horribly depressed by kangaroo torture.
Nothing bad happens. Every time you think like, oh, this is going to be the point in the movie where like everything starts to fall apart. No, it's pretty much fine.
And it ends on such a good note.
Yeah.
Where he like runs into the food critic again.
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck you, man. Fuck you fucking face. And the food critic's like, man, I was fucking rooting for you this entire time.
I was just trying to like get you back in the game.
Yeah, you were.
And now I want you to start a new restaurant, bankrolled by me, and you can cook whatever you want.
And then that's like the end of the movie, is him in his new it's him in his house with like the ex-wife and Scarlett Johansson. They're all there. And...
No, Scarlett Johansson disappears. He gets remarried to the ex-wife.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
I forget that bit.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago, I suppose.
Yeah.
To be honest, that's like Sophie's Choice. Scarlett Johansson or...
That's not like Sophie's Choice. There's two winning choices. In Sophie's Choice, they're both bad.
But which one do you pick? It's the impossible decision.
But they're not going to die.
Well, Russell, don't call me out on my literary statements. It's like, it's the impossible decision is what I consider Sophie's Choice to be. An impossible decision. Because I can't pick between those two women. How would you pick one over the other? They're both excellent in different ways.
In the movie, I would have picked the ex-wife. Because one, you already have a son together. And two, she's mega rich.
Yes. But Scarlett Johansson, I think she'd be like filthy in the sack. In this movie. Her character.
In this movie, yeah.
Yeah. And,
And just generally.
And maybe keep the wife as, and every now and then.
That seems way too complicated.
That's true. But you do get to bang both of them in my scenario.
You do. And then it all blows up in your face.
Yes.
Anyway, the other movie which I watched...
You've been very movie heavy in the time when you stopped being horrendously busy at work.
3 weeks or something. Now this is like when I knocked off and woke up on Saturday morning late and thought, I don't want to do anything. I'll just watch a movie. These are the movies I've been watching. I watched Sleepy Hollow.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, it's Tim Burton directed. Johnny Depp stars.
Johnny Depp's,
yep. As Ichabod Crane, who is a scientifically minded detective who is sent to solve a series of grisly murders in the town of Sleepy Hollow.
TV show?
Yes.
Yeah.
But the TV show is set in like modern day, I think.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. It was extremely silly. I thought it was going to be like a horror movie. But no, not at all.
Do you think it was like on par with that movie where he's a vampire and it's just like...
Johnny Depp's a vampire?
Vampire, yeah.
I don't think I've seen this movie.
Okay. I didn't watch it either, but I heard of it.
Yeah.
He's like, it's a silly movie where he's a vampire. And
Well,
he like wakes up in modern times and stuff like that.
No, it wasn't like that.
Okay.
Not that I've seen it.
Would it be like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory levels of silly, Johnny Depp silly? I'm trying to gauge the level of silliness here.
It's not really that he's being silly. It's just that this town, which is, like there's been a series of decapitations.
Mm-hmm. So the classic Headless Horseman.
Yeah. There's a Headless Horseman plaguing the town. I believe it is based on the original Headless Horseman.
Headless Horseman Fable, yes.
But everything about it is just goofy. Okay. Nobody seems that fazed by all the beheadings.
Somebody gets their head lopped up, like, whoops!
Yeah.
Whop, whop.
It was quite entertaining, though.
Hilarious? Would you call it hilarious?
Well, I wouldn't call it hilarious. It wasn't meant to be hilarious, but it was just kind of goofy and funny.
Alright. Not what you were expecting, though.
No, not at all what I was expecting. And it had Christopher Walken in it. As the Headless Horseman before he was beheaded.
Did he talk with his usual cadence?
He didn't talk at all. He just went, ha!
Come on, Christopher Walken, you're better than this.
And he had like sharpened teeth.
I don't know exactly the story of the Headless Horseman, other than he's a dude without a head who carries around a glowing pumpkin and takes people's heads off on a horse.
Well, the way it was relayed in this film is that he was a mercenary from one of the German republics who came over to fight in the American, I believe it was the Revolution or the Civil War. Probably the Revolution.
Honestly, America, stop fighting yourself.
Yeah. Well, yeah. They've been doing pretty well. They might fight each other again soon, but they've had a good run.
If you listen to our previous podcast, I outlined the scenario in which I think there will be another
Civil War 2, Judgment Day.
Civil War 2, don't take our guns.
Yeah. Anyway, so this mercenary came over, and he had a habit of cutting people's heads off. And he was a vicious scoundrel, and then eventually he was tracked down and killed by the opposing forces. And after he was buried, his spirit continued to plague the town.
He was put under a voodoo curse, I understand.
Yes, and he rode around without his head on, taking other people's heads. Presumably.
That's sort of like, I like that sort of old style judgment. It's like, oh, you like taking people's heads off, do you?
Yeah.
Well, let's see how you like this.
Yeah, we'll take your head off. And now you're going to take everyone else's heads off.
It's a vicious cycle.
Yes, but it turned out that his skull had been taken by somebody.
For dark voodoo magics.
Yes, well, if you take his skull, you get to control him and direct his beheadings against...
His wrath, his ghostly wrath.
Yeah, against whoever you want. And they were doing it for their own financial gain.
Yeah.
So there was like a... I was a bit disappointed because I thought this was going to be like a mystery movie, but no, it is just literal fantasy. It's just an actual headless horseman decapitating people. But then it turned out that he was...
This would be like sort of Scooby-Doo town.
Yeah, I thought he was going to unmask them. I would have got away with it too. It wasn't for you meddling Johnny Depps.
I love the fact that there's two Johnny Depps in your scenario. There's just like a couple of Johnny Depps out there solving mysteries.
That would be good.
I would love it if it was like... If it was from Pirates of the Caribbean, Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yes.
And the guy from that Barber one where he's like...
Sweeney Todd.
Sweeney Todd.
Yeah.
I was Sweeney Todd and Jack Sparrow to team up and solve mysteries.
That would be quite the dynamic duo. It did swing back, though, when it was revealed that somebody, a living member of the town, was controlling the Headless Horseman.
Yeah, so then
it was like, who's really behind the murders?
Did you peg it? Everybody who watches these sort of things goes, I reckon it's that.
Yeah, no, I fell for the red herring.
There's always a red herring, Russell.
And then,
always suspect the ones that you don't suspect.
And then he got killed, and I was like, what? But then after that, it was pretty clear who it was.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's hard to keep those things. Keep people guessing. Because modern filmmaking, it's really just like... Usually it's like big flashing neon line pointing to back. Hey, heads up. Here are all these hints that it's this fucking guy.
Yeah.
Oh, Zara, it's going to be this fucking guy.
Yeah. But I do love a good mystery. I don't know if you know this, but my favourite TV show is Poirot.
I absolutely know that. Yeah. You tell me quite often.
I love Poirot. We could do a Poirot rewatch.
We could. I don't want to.
It doesn't really get good until like season 8 anyway.
God, how many seasons are there?
Yeah, there's a lot of seasons.
It's like saying, oh, what's your favourite TV show? Oh, Doctor Who. Which part of it? Like fucking 80 seasons now.
Yeah, they're like late 60s Doctor Who.
God, you know I actually have a copy of all of Doctor Who that exists.
What? I don't believe you. That would take up your entire hard drive.
No, I do. There's lost episodes. There's like seasons that like, nobody has a copy of.
Oh, okay.
But I do have most of it.
Do you watch it?
I watched some of it. I watched the very first episode.
How was it? Was that the one where we went to a lighthouse?
No.
Oh.
There's actually like the only time travel that happens in the entire first episode is right at the end. Is the very last thing that happens.
And of course,
a lot of it's like two teachers going on about this like student who's like, she seems to know everything. It's like, she's a woman. How can she be so well educated? You know, and stuff like that. And it turns out that she's like the granddaughter of Doctor Who.
Oh, I see.
She's a
Time Lord.
Yes, she's a Gallifreyan.
Yes.
I forgot the name of their species. But
well,
anyway.
That is all the movies I've been watching recently.
Yes. I was just going to say that it's... bad guys in movies are never, like, really well hidden, are they? Like, not in modern movies, at any rate. Like, in older movies...
What about Scar? I didn't know he was the bad guy until right at the end.
Are you talking about Lion King?
The Lion King.
Shut up, Ross. But, like... It seems like, unless it's like an indie film, all modern movies, like, the bad guys are pretty well outlined from, like, day dot. You know? Like, any movie where there's a bad guy, like, quarter of the way into the movie, you're like, oh, that's going to be the bad guy at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
So it's not hard to peg these things, you know?
No.
But I find that very boring, because it's going to be like, oh, that guy's going to betray everybody. So... But, like, with indie movies, it's a different thing. But any sort of, like, oh, we want a mass appeal here. You know, we got to appeal to the lowest common denominator.
When you were watching Batman vs. Superman,
correct,
did you realise that Lex Luthor was going to be the bad guy?
I shockingly managed to put that one together, yeah. I thought it was going to be Batman for a while there, but he really turned around at the end.
Or Superman. Like, they can't both be the good guy. They're versing each other.
That's true. It's in the title.
Yeah.
What a piece of shit movie.
Unless their mothers had the same name, in which case all bets are off.
All bets are off, yep. God, Russell, don't get me started. I'm upset that you weren't around when I watched that. So
I haven't even seen it.
You haven't even seen it?
No.
But I feel like I gave you enough of a run through on the podcast of what a piece of shit movie it was.
Yeah.
But yes.
Did you want to talk about another movie you might have seen recently?
Thank you for whispering into the microphone. Yes, I went and watched a movie last night? No, it was on Wednesday. And it is now Friday, so 2 nights ago. I had to do the math there, verbally, for some reason.
That's the kind of detail you get with Popculture Pontification.
At this point in the podcast, I know that if I don't... I know, like, the look on your face of where you're just waiting for me to talk. So if I have, like, a brain blank, I just have to keep talking until I, like, have something to say.
Well, I don't want to cut in on you when you're saying, I went and saw it on this day.
Yeah, but if I was like, I went and see it, So you didn't cut in.
Yeah.
Anyway, I went and watched, for some reason I want to say Mission Impossible. That's not what I went and watched. What
Did you?
was it called? I didn't, no.
Independence Day 2
I don't know
Resurgence.
why I was fucking thinking about Mission Impossible. I was like, no, that's not what I'm talking about.
Independence Day Ghost Protocol.
Independence Day, Ghost Protocol. What's the other one?
Rogue Nation.
Rogue Nation, yeah. Anyway, I went and watched it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a movie.
Is it? How does it compare to X-Men Apocalypse?
It's better.
Okay, that's good. Because I saw the trailer and it looked like a similar sort of shit flying everywhere movie.
A lot of the things I had to let go as I was watching it.
What do you mean, like rational thought?
This is not spoilers, because in the movie they go, oh, the fucking enormous ship has landed on Earth. Where's it landed? The Pacific. Which part of the Pacific? All of it.
What?
It's in the trailer, Russell. It's like, the ship's landed in the Pacific. What part of the Pacific? All of it.
How could that ship fly?
It is, I don't know, space
technology. Wouldn't it, like, distort the gravitational field of the Earth?
Yeah, it does.
And that atmosphere?
Yeah, it would strip away the atmosphere, no doubt.
It seems bad.
Yes. It's, like, literally, like, if the size of the Earth is a basketball...
Yes.
It is, like, the size of your hand. Like a large man's hand on a basketball.
My God.
It is that big. And it lands on the Earth. And I was like, that would destroy the planet.
Yeah.
That would be literally like the moon crashing into the Earth.
Why don't all the aliens just get off the ship and let it crash into the Earth? It would kill everybody.
They want to suck up all the resources.
Oh, okay.
And in the first movie, it was pretty believable when we as humans went and attacked the alien ship that they sent out. The alien ship sent out maybe like 100 of their own ships to attack us. I mean, it's believable. They'd be like, all right, they know they've got us outgunned technology-wise.
Yeah.
We're like fucking cavemen compared to them.
Yeah.
And they're just going to send out like 100 ships to fuck us up. And fuck us up they did.
Yep.
And until Jeff Goldblum came along and saved the day.
Good old Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, God, he's a handsome, charming man. But in, like, this movie, it's literally the size of Asia. The ship. And it lands down. And they send out maybe, like, 100 ships.
But how fast do these ships move? Because it would take them hours to get from one side of the ship to the other if they flew at normal plane speed.
I believe all of them have, like, gravity, like, hyperspeed. But even then, if it's that big and there's that many aliens on it that it's that big, then surely there's aliens all over the bloody thing. There'd be, like, 1 billion aliens in this thing. And they'd be... You wouldn't need to, like, send ships from one end to the other to go attack something.
No.
You'd have fucking ships everywhere.
Yeah.
You're a technologically advanced alien species, you know? Anyway, there's like a whole big sort of dogfight scene where the alien ship only sends out about 50 ships to fight.
Yes.
The human tech, which is now mixed with alien tech to the degree that we can get through their shields and blow them up. I was like, send out 500,000 ships and just destroy, crush us without like a hope in hell.
I was thinking, like, how many planes do they fit on an aircraft carrier? Like 20, 30 planes?
Mm-hmm.
And this thing is probably the size of 10,000 aircraft carriers stapled together.
More so then.
Yeah.
Definitely more so then. It's enormous. And yeah, I mean, and like Area 51 is like the big base for humans now. And we send, like, when there's just an enormous hangar. And they send up, like, 100 ships, you know, out there and bomb us and all this sort of stuff to attack.
Why didn't they build it closer to, like, a civilized area?
I don't know.
Why did they build it in the middle of, like, a desert wasteland?
Anyway, so the big ship touches down. I'm like, well, the Earth is destroyed.
Yeah.
You've destroyed the Earth. And, like, one of the main plot points, which I don't feel like this is really spoiling anything... they try to, you know, the big beam weapons, so blow up the White House.
Yeah.
Movie? They've got a version of that, but it's like a drill.
Okay.
And they're trying to drill down to the Earth's core.
Yeah.
To like
take all the shit.
Take all the molten core out and to like, and he's like, Jeff Goldblum's like, oh, without the molten core, we'll lose our magnetic field and the atmosphere will be stripped away, and so on and so forth.
Yes.
And I'm like, you've already lost your atmosphere, mate. You've got a ship the size of fucking Asia.
They're way bigger than Asia.
Way bigger than Asia, yes. And all that happens, and spoiler alert, for a movie that's only been out a couple of days, I suppose.
Yeah, like 24 hours at the point we're recording this.
I feel like if they're drilling down to the core of the Earth, I don't think it's anybody's big surprise that we stop them just before they get to the core of the Earth.
What, leaving a miles-wide shaft all the way almost to the center of the Earth?
Even wider than that. It's like 100 miles across.
Oh my God.
Fucking drill hole. It's an enormous drill hole. And I'm like, oh, we've stopped like this far away, inches away on our big map.
Yeah.
You know, like, just 5 seconds, a minute to go, and they would have gotten through it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, you're fucked then, because you drill down to maybe 2 kilometers from the molten core of the planet, and that's all going to come up now.
Yeah.
You're an idiot. We're dead. We're so dead.
Yes.
And they did it in the middle of the ocean, too. So I'm like, well, that's 90% of the Earth's ocean gone. It's going to go down into this hole. Anyway, it's a very silly movie.
Leaving aside all of the physical impossibility inherent in the movie's premise.
Yes. Again, I hate the way you say premise.
Yes,
Premise is the way it's pronounced, not premise.
That's too bad.
It's unfortunate for me. It enrages me.
Unless you get somebody with an English accent to back you up. I will never agree with you.
What? So just like some English bloke on
somebody who sounds posh.
Alright. I sound pretty posh.
No, you don't.
Anyway, whatever. Not important. Yes.
Apart from all that, did you enjoy watching this action sci-fi movie?
If you go in and sit down and go, this is going to be a silly movie.
Ridiculous schlock.
This is going to be ridiculous schlock.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Right. It's not like Pacific Rim.
It's not like
Which you go in thinking, this is going to be ridiculous schlock. And it is
going,
incredible.
You leave going, yeah!
Yeah, fuck yeah.
No, this is like, you go in expecting ridiculous shock and you go, I was like, oh, that's fucking ridiculous. I still say that there was no need for a sequel.
No.
The first one was fine, self-encapsulating.
We survived for, 20 years without an Independence Day sequel?
Yes. And they should have survived 100 more.
Yes. Will Smith's not even in it.
It's not. It's unnecessary sequel, is what it is. Yes. Even though more Jeff Goldblum is always a good thing. Yes.
He basically plays himself in any movie.
In pretty much every movie, yeah.
Yeah.
Then the other thing I really got to talk about is the fact that previously, on the previous episode of this, I mentioned...
Callback.
Oh, yeah. It's about the second one I've done this episode. Is that I mentioned I had started to watch the new Netflix original series, Voltron.
Oh, yeah.
Legendary Defender. And
I did hear you talking about it on a previous podcast.
Yes.
You didn't talk very much about it.
No, because I'd only watched like the first episode.
Ah, okay.
But I now watched all of the episodes.
All of the episodes?
All of the episodes. There's only like 9.
Yeah.
Standard Netflix sort of series. And I can now give it my wholehearted thumbs up approval.
Oh, good.
Because I don't know if you've ever watched Voltron, the original. It was a very long time ago.
No, although I remember you saying in the last podcast that you did have a Voltron toy.
I did have a Voltron. I do, still.
Somewhere. You do?
It's probably at my parents' house.
When you said that, I thought you meant that you had like one of the cats. But no, you had the whole lot.
I have the whole 5 of them.
Because we had 2 cat robot toys.
What ones did you have?
Yellow and red.
Okay, so not even... That's like a leg and an arm.
Yeah. And we had no idea what Voltron was.
So
we didn't know that they like connected together.
They're just like these cool cats that seem to shift into the shape of a boot.
Yeah, we didn't really understand why. They were just among our childhood toys.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, you grew
occasionally
up with,
the Ninja Turtles would ride on the cats.
You grew up with 2 brothers.
1 brother.
1 brother?
I have 2 much older brothers and 1 slightly younger brother. So I grew up with the younger brother.
Fair enough. So, no doubt you guys just like trashed your toys. No doubt.
No, well, we didn't have... Like, if we broke our toys, that was it. We wouldn't get another toy until our next birthday, so we took care of them, I think.
But I've only... Of every brother sort of whatever... brothers... I mean, I've only got a sister, so our toys didn't cross over such as much.
Because you stuck to traditional gender roles.
Yes, we're weird like that. But every experience I had with another family that was brothers...
Yes.
...was that they would inevitably be fighting over the toys. And then the toys would get broken because one person would be like, well, you want it? Too fucking bad. You can't have it. Or, like, they'd be played with twice as much, so they'd just be, like, fucking demolished and stuff like that. Or much more battered than I would expect.
I don't remember either of us spiting the other one like that.
That does sound like something you would do, though. Like a brother thing.
Yeah, maybe. I was quite horrible to my brother a lot of times.
You're still quite horrible to him occasionally nowadays.
I don't think I am I?
Well, you do, like, brotherly stuff.
Yeah.
Like, bully him a little bit.
Yeah, well, you know, that's what brothers do.
I wouldn't know. Well, I suppose I bully my sister every now and then, but it's not the same. Anyway, yes, I had all the bits.
Of Voltron.
Of Voltron.
Which is what we were talking
about. All 5 lions.
Yes.
But it was...
Is there a separate body that you attach all of the things onto? Or is one of the lions form the body?
Voltron works.
No.
Alright. So, there are 4 lions, right?
Yeah.
A red, a green, a blue, a yellow, and a black. Right?
You said 4 lions.
Sorry, 4 limbs and the main body.
Right.
Right? The blue and the yellow are feet. And the red and the green are the arms.
Uh-huh.
And the black guy forms the body and the head.
Okay.
Right. So
does that mean the black lion is the boss?
Black lion is the boss. Yes.
Right, okay.
So, yeah. And that's pretty much...
And then he gets a sword.
He can form a blazing sword, yes. In the old one, yes.
Is that part of one of the lions?
It's they sort of like the 2 arm lions sort of put their lion mouths, hands together.
Oh, yeah. And then
sort
a
of
sword
like,
comes out.
Pull them apart. It's like a big energy. And it's like a sword.
Actually, this chat reminds me of Power Rangers.
Yep.
And one of my friends...
I had the Power Rangers too.
Who lives over east.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, and suddenly out of the blue, from as far as I could tell, created or assembled the components of a impeccably good Green Ranger cosplay.
Okay.
And every Facebook post...
I had no idea where you were going.
Yeah, no, I didn't know where I was going with it until he started posting about it. But every Facebook post for the last, 2 months has been about his Green Ranger cosplay.
Okay. I mean, well, good for him.
Yeah, well, good for him. He went to Supernova and met the guy who played the
I forget
Green
his
Ranger.
name.
Jason someone.
Something or other, yeah. I want to say Jason Alexander, but that's...
No, that's George Costanza.
That's George Costanza.
Costanza.
Anyway, yeah, that Green Ranger guy, the actual guy who played him, he does a lot. He's still, in love with the Green Ranger. He did MMA for a while. I don't believe he does it anymore. But there's, superhero, beatdowns is, this YouTube series.
Okay.
And, they've had the Green Ranger on there twice. And he's played him both times.
Okay.
You know?
And do they battle against other superheroes?
Yes, the most famous one with that guy in it was the Green Ranger versus Ryu.
Ah.
Yeah.
Ryu would win.
Ryu did not win.
Really?
No, because they don't do it look at all the different statistics.
It's like an energy projectile attack.
Okay, yeah. The Green Ranger has a sword, so I'm not sure what you're going on about. But, sorry, yeah, they go by, fan votes. Decides the winner. Yeah.
Right.
So they'll go to, a convention, and they'll ask, a butt-ton of people, who would win in a fight between the Green Ranger and Ryu, and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, Ryu gets my vote. I just want to make that clear.
It's just because that's the guy you play in Street Fighter, that's why.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, so he's still pretty active as a guy who promotes the Ranger and all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
And there is a movie coming next year, I believe.
I believe there is, yes. I don't know if he's going to be in it as the Green Ranger. Dude's still tank as shit though.
Yeah, I saw pictures of him.
Yeah,
He's
I wouldn't
pretty
fuck
jacked.
around with him, yeah.
Your mention of Street Fighter there reminded me to update the listeners.
Oh my god, yes.
Capcom completely shat the bed on Street Fighter.
Did they? I thought they were adding in all these extra features.
Oh, it's taking way too long.
Mm-hmm.
And their netcode's not good. And
so you've moved on?
Yeah, I've moved on with my life. They might catch up eventually, but...
Even then, it'll be far too late for you.
Their plan was to simplify some elements of the game in order to draw in a new crowd. But then...
Tap green button to win.
When they released the game in this half-finished state, centered entirely around competitive ladder play, that turned off
what a lot of people want, I guess. But...
all of the new people. And the old people don't like how the game's been simplified. So, no, you fucked it, Capcom.
You fucked it up?
Yep.
Alright. I remember Street Fighter 4, I believe, coming out quite a few years ago now. And I bought it. I got the collector's edition for Xbox, I believe it was. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to play this shit out of this. And then I sat down as Ryu to play through storyline mode. Yeah. Because, spoiler alert, Ryu is one of the easiest characters to play. His controls are extremely simple. I sat down to play it, and you'd fight through random characters, but then you get to a versus fight, fight your rival.
Yeah.
And Ryu's rival, no surprise, is Sagat.
I thought you were going to say Ken.
No. It's Sagat.
Yes.
And then you fight him, fight through a bunch of other guys, fight the end guy. Get the storyboard ending. And I was like, I'll put it on, like, normal difficulty. So, I'm not that much of a pussy, but I'm not, like, an expert either. Oh my god, I nearly broke my controller playing that game. Because I'd be able to get through and up to Sagat. And then I'd be just like, that guy just fucked me for, like, days.
Yeah.
He did. I was like, am I just fucking terrible at this game or something? But I finally managed to get through him after, like, a long time. And I finally got to the end guy, the final boss fight. And I can't remember if you could just had infinite continues or not, but I've blocked a lot of this out.
Yeah.
Rage. And the end guy for Street Fighter 4, I might be talking about Street Fighter 3, I can't remember which one it is. He has, like, a bunch of moves that he's stolen from all the other characters. He's like a bioengineered whatever.
Right.
So he has, like, Dhalsim's extendy arms.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he can teleport around the place like Dhalsim can, and he's got, like, Sonic Boom and all that sort of stuff.
Has Dhalsim ever been on Superhero Showdown? Or whatever it's called?
I don't know.
Because he would win.
He can teleport and set people on fire.
Yeah, and they have stretchy arms and legs.
Anyway, so wherever you're on the screen, this guy can immediately hit you.
Yeah.
And I finally beat him with, like, a sliver of health left.
Yeah.
And I finished the game, and I was like, nah! And I just threw my controller down, and I went for a walk for, like, half an hour. So I was so enraged by this game.
Never playing this again.
And I don't think I ever played it again.
Fair enough.
Anyway. I completely forgot what we were talking about.
Pop culture.
We were talking about the Green Ranger.
We were, yeah. But that was really just an aside. We don't have to carry on down that rabbit hole.
I have a question for you, though. What is your favourite Power Ranger? Did you watch the show when you were younger?
I did. But I honestly couldn't tell you who my favourite one was.
You don't have, like... You didn't want to be one of them?
No.
No?
I don't think so.
Alright. Because everybody has a favourite. But...
Leonardo is my favourite.
Yes. This is something I wanted to talk about. Because not your stupid fanaticism for Leonardo when Donatello is clearly the best.
He has 2 swords.
Yeah, but what would he be without Donatello? Fucking nothing.
He'd still be the leader of the Turtles.
Yeah, but you know what they'd be? Dead. Because every problem gets solved by Donatello.
What would Donatello do without Leonardo? He'd just sit around tinkering with gadgets.
Yeah, and he'd create science that would save the world.
No, because the Foot Clan would have taken over by then.
Not important.
You need a leader to get things
done.
done.
This is not what we're here for.
We could have a Ninja Turtles podcast. It would just be us arguing over who's the best.
Every week, coming back with more and more obscure facts.
Yeah, we rewatched episode 2 of the cartoon, and Leonardo was the best in this episode. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, no. I believe that Donatello played a pivotal role. No, because you go, there's a show called Cracked. You know Cracked, the website?
Yes.
Right, there's a show on there called...
9 things you didn't know about whatever.
Yes, mostly it's pap and pointless nonsense.
Yes.
But they do a show called Cracked After Hours.
Oh, the saucy version.
No, which is basically like these 4 characters sitting around in like a late night diner and talking about like pop culture stuff.
Right.
And they did a series, they'll go talk, one episode will be all about Batman and about how he could actually be way more beneficial to Gotham being a philanthropist, you know?
Yes.
And stuff like that. And
spending his billions of dollars.
saving and problems.
Yeah, building hospitals.
Instead of like $1 million batsuit, build $1 million hospital. You know? And stuff like that. And they'll talk about Spider-Man and like blah, 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 so on and so forth. And they talked about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Mm.
And they made the very valid point that in most sort of shows of that ilk, where there's a team, everybody likes the same character. Like, everybody likes the Red Ranger in Power Rangers until the Green Ranger shows up, and then everybody likes the Green Ranger until he becomes the White Ranger. Then everybody likes the White Ranger. You know, and that sort of, I'm not going to retread what they said, but it holds true for like pretty much every sort of team, whatever. You know, everybody likes the same character.
Who did you like out of the Planeteers?
I wanted to fuck the Swedish chick.
Oh, yeah, everybody did. She was Russian, I think.
Russian, sorry.
Yeah.
But I probably wanted to be the fire guy.
Wheeler.
Yeah.
No, he was a dick.
Yeah, but he had the coolest power.
No, Kwame was the best.
What they do with the heart?
No.
Which one's Kwame?
The Earth guy.
Oh, the Earth guy was cool.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm remembering incorrectly. He was like the leader.
No, Willow had a certain appeal, but Kwame was the like sensible one.
He was the leader.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. But
I always think that the heart guy was called Mowgli, but that's the guy from Jungle Book.
Your racism is
yeah, basically.
I can't remember his name either. So he had a monkey, which is pretty cool.
He did have a monkey.
He also had the most useless power.
Yeah.
But everybody sort of likes the same characters, and I'm not going to tread over what the old ground is.
Yes.
Except when it comes to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Everybody likes a different turtle. There's like so much variety. Like nobody goes and watches Power Rangers like, oh yeah, I want to be the nerdy blue guy. Nobody does that.
Was the yellow one a chick?
The yellow one was a chick. She was Asian too.
Yeah, I think she was my favourite.
Yeah? No way, man. Pink Ranger, like, Bone Town all the way. I wanted to bang that Pink Ranger.
I can't remember what she looked like. I think I fancied the Yellow Ranger.
Alright, you get a bit of yellow fever, apparently. But yeah, everybody likes a different turtle.
I feel like it is probably a better indication of your personality than astrology or numerology or things like that.
I'm not saying it's got anything to do with, like, anything like that.
But if your favourite turtle is Raphael, you're probably an asshole.
But he gets the job done, though. He's like a driving force of the turtles. You know, without him, half of the stuff that happens to them, they wouldn't find out about bad stuff.
Yeah, but they wouldn't have, like, 90% of the fights they had with each other.
I think we can both agree that Michelangelo was the most useless turtle.
He's like the comic relief.
Yeah, but he's like functionally.
He's a party dude.
Functionally, yeah, but Raphael is cool but crude.
Yeah. No, cool but rude, isn't it?
Cool but rude, sorry, yes.
He's definitely rude.
He's definitely rude.
I wouldn't
He's
call
also
him cool.
crude, though.
He is crude. Crude.
Anyway, I just think that, I think everybody likes a different turtle, but mostly in all other sort of fandoms, where it's like a team sort of thing, everybody likes the same one.
I think we should take a survey of which turtle people like.
Okay, yeah, I mean, we're good.
Yeah, you should ask your other podcast crew.
Yes, although I'm on my own out there. The other two people listening to podcasts are both Vegeta fans, and I'm like the Goku fan, so I'm severely outnumbered.
Who's my favourite from Dragon Ball?
None. You don't
Nobody,
know the show.
that's right.
Because you're a poor, lonely boy. When that show came out, you had nobody to talk to about it, so you resented it.
Pretty much.
Fair enough.
I feel like we've been talking forever.
We haven't been talking for an hour, so I think it's time to wrap this up.
Okay.
So, unless there's nothing else you want to talk about?
Did you watch your...
I didn't, that's why
yeah, okay.
I'm trying to avoid talking about the Forced Review because I have not watched it.
I feel like we have been going for long enough.
We have been definitely going for long enough.
Yeah, we'll postpone that for next time.
If I remember to watch it. I'm very busy.
You are now.
I am now, yes. I got lots of things going on.
You're running the whole stable of podcasts.
Oh, that's it. I don't know how Griffin McElroy does it.
He doesn't have a job. Well, that is his job.
That is his job, yes. He works for... He, writes articles and stuff for, a game website or something.
Yeah, but that's, the most piss-free job ever.
Until you got to do it every week.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's not important. What is important is that if you've enjoyed this, you can go and... now that we're not redirecting people to our website because we're not really... Can't be asked putting stuff on there anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know where to go from here.
Facebook is our main
you need
form
to do,
of
Yes, you need
contact.
to do the social stuff first now.
Facebook. You can find us at facebook.com/popculturepon. If you want to find us on Twitter, you can go to twitter.com/popculturepon or search for @popculturepon.
Yes. I feel like maybe we should, because what we used to do is what you specifically used to do. Your job was to go and do the blog posts, which we've decided to fuck off because they're largely pointless.
Yes, if you do miss the blog post, please let us know, but as far as we could tell, nobody was reading them.
You mean of our massive listener base, nobody was reading them?
Yes.
But what you did do, which I loved, was that you would find stuff that was tangentially related to what we talked about.
Yes, an amusing link.
Amusing
or two,
links.
or
Maybe
15.
we should start posting those to our social media accounts.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Maybe that could be your job.
Yes.
You can tease out the coming podcast by posting links about what we might talk about.
That might be a good idea.
Yes. So look forward to that. And if you've enjoyed this podcast, feel free to come back next week for another episode of Popculture Pontification.
And make sure to subscribe and listen to Kami's Lookout podcast.
It's so close. You said Kami's Lookout. It's Kami.
No, that's your new Street Fighter podcast.
Oh, okay. Kami's Lookout. It's just Kami, really paying close attention to stuff on a very high place.
Yes. Lots of butt close-ups.
Nice. Jeez, just put some pants on, will it?
Yeah, this is a ridiculous costume.
I feel like you're fighting people. You want some form of protective leg cutlery.
Yeah.
When your main method of attack is kicking.